Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam Berry, I'm the gym starter, and today I'm going to take you through what is a calorie deficit. Now, on my Instagram stories, I've been getting a lot of questions about a calorie deficit. In fact, I've been getting a lot of questions about fat loss full stop, and don't get me wrong, I adore them. I'm very thankful for them, and I appreciate you being here right now watching this video. I also appreciate all the interactions you give me on Instagram. But it got me thinking, so many people were asking me, what is a calorie deficit? What is a calorie deficit? Explain the diet of a calorie deficit. And I realized that I think people are thinking it's something like the ketogenic diet, or it's something like the Atkins diet, or it's something like Slimming World or Weight Watchers, or any diet under the sun, that there's strict parameters on what you can and can't eat. There's certain rules between whether there's this much protein and this much carbohydrate and all of these different things. And they think it's some kind of packaged diet that we just hand out to people and we say, there you go, follow this and you'll lose weight. And it's not quite that. So let's take you through what a calorie deficit is, step by step, the whole guide. You won't have to go anywhere else to find out anything else about the literal principle of a calorie deficit. So first things first, it's not a diet, or it is the principle behind every diet. What I mean by saying it's not a diet, it's not something that I, myself, or other fitness trainers that you hear talking about calorie deficits, it's not something that we package up and we sell on to people and we try and get them to buy into the calorie deficit. It's more about allowing people to use their foods for their understanding and to help them achieve their goals. So the underlying principle of a calorie deficit is calories in versus calories out. You might have heard it being called CICO, C-I-C-O, calories in versus calories out. And the principle of a calorie deficit is that calories out are bigger than calories in. And if we do that, we lose weight. Now I could end the video here. I could say that's all you need to know about a calorie deficit. But in experience, I know that's not quite enough. A calorie is a unit of measurement. It's a unit of measurement in the same way a centimeter is a unit of measurement, in the same way a kilogram is a unit of measurement. What a calorie measures is the energy in your food. And when we consume energy, we store it. And we store it in various places, in various ways. And we store different types of energy in different ways. But all a calorie is a unit of measurement. So in the same sense that if you've traveled 5 miles, you've traveled 5 miles. If you eat a calorie, you have eaten a calorie. And therefore, a calorie deficit diet is designed to manipulate you into eating less calories than you were putting in. Or more, I should say, burning less calories than you are putting into your system. Because it's not all about the energy we just eat. It also comes down to how we get rid of that energy from the body, which I'll get into on the how part of the video. Let me be very clear. Every single diet in the world manipulates your calories. Whether that's the ketogenic diet, and you're doing that in order to lose weight, you will be doing the ketogenic diet and that gets you to reduce your carbohydrate level so that you consume less calories. Whether you're doing intermittent fasting, you are consuming less calories by not eating for a particular time of the day. Whether you're doing counting sins with Slimming World. A sin is not a calorie, but it's their version of trying to tell you what a calorie is or is not. And they just confuse it for you. Weight Watchers, counting points. Points don't equal calories, but they equal groups of calories. And again, they're trying to get you to live in a calorie deficit so that you lose weight. And I could go on and on. And it's the principle of any muscle building diet as well. In order to build muscle, we have to reverse the calorie deficit equation. So we have to eat more than we're getting rid of out of our body. And then we gain weight. and we put on muscle as long as we're lifting heavy and all the rest of it, and that's that. That's it, really. That's the principle. Calories in versus calories out. Calories in must equal less than the calories out, which you manage to expend from your body through various bodily functions. So why? Why, when someone asks me, how do I get rid of belly fat, do I put up a silly Instagram photo of me going, a calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight? And that is exactly why. It is the only way to lose weight. Science is very interesting, and it answers a lot of our things in the world, like gravity and electricity and all kinds of things. And science has dictated, has found out, has experimented, and come to the simple conclusion that calories must be less in than the calories out in order to lose weight. In the same way that 2 plus 2 equals 4, and don't let anyone tell you 2 plus 2 equals 6, because it doesn't. In the same way 2 plus 2 equals 4, a calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight. That's it. There's nothing else about it. There's no pseudoscience, there's no magic pill, there's no belly wrap for this. This is it. I almost wish this video was longer. I almost wish I could sit here with you for hours and talk to you about the science behind calories in versus calories out and everything else. And to be fair, we will get onto that a little bit later, but it's just, I can't emphasize this enough. It is just that simple. Why do I recommend a calorie deficit to lose weight? And the reason is because it's the truth. It's the only way to lose weight. And I'm not trying to give you any nonsense. I'm not trying to make it frilly around the sides and make you pay me more money for the frills. I am just being here, open and honest with you and saying the only way to lose weight, science has told us, has found out, has experimented to the point with people far cleverer than me, that it's the only way to lose weight. How we go about it? That's multifaceted. But the facts, the real, true, hardcore facts of how to lose weight is a calorie deficit. So how? How do we achieve a calorie deficit? 99% of my work, no, maybe that's a bit too much. Most of my work is trying to get people into a calorie deficit. They come to me and their goal is to lose weight to build their confidence. Now, if I don't get them achieving on the lose weight side of things, it's very hard to get them improving their confidence. It can work the other way. Sometimes when I get someone to increase their confidence, they manage to lose weight. But generally, the two go hand in hand. Not always. You can have confidence without losing weight, and I appreciate that and go for it. But the people who choose to work with me always come to me and say, I want to lose weight in order to increase my confidence. And that's what I specialize in. So how do I go about getting them into a calorie deficit? Well, if you've been on this channel for a while, you'd have seen my 5 awesome rules for fat loss life. We start there. That's our number one principle. And the best ways to make yourself get into a calorie deficit is first your diet. I'm sure you've all heard the meme or seen the meme, you can't out-train a bad diet. And that's true to an extent. The word bad is not something I like to dabble in. Food is food, and that's another thing about a calorie deficit. But your diet. You will not lose weight if all you do is eat more calories than your body is burning. You will gain weight. Full stop. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say you must only eat vegetables, you can only eat lean proteins, you can only have 10 grams of carbohydrates and 8 grams of fat every day and everything else has to be protein and all the rest of it. No. I'm not in that kind of business because I personally don't find such strict parameters useful for the people I work with. But having said that, if someone wants to lose weight, they must get on top of their diet. They must understand how many calories they're allowed to eat each day. And if you don't know what that is, look in the caption below. I've linked the video. Your calorie calculator for fat loss. That's it. Goal body weight in pounds times by 12. There's a little sneak peek for you. We must get on top of the diet. Once we've got a grip on how many foods you can eat and still lose weight, then that's the biggest chunk of getting into a calorie deficit. That's the hardest part of getting into a calorie deficit. And if you can master that, you'll be okay. Next on the list, and these are in this particular order for a reason. Next on the list is what's known as your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. What is that? That's your 10,000 steps a day, part of the 5 awesome fat loss rules for life. That is moving the sofas. That is doing the gardening. That is walking the dog. That is walking up to the shops as opposed to getting in the car. That is, if you have driven the car to the shops, parking as far away from the store as possible and walking to the store. That is carrying bags of shopping, not using a trolley. Sorry about the shopping references. Your NEAT is the biggest element of your metabolism that you can influence yourself. And it's all the exercise you do that isn't prescribed exercise, that isn't going to the gym, isn't running a 5K. And if you start increasing that, you're going to be burning more calories every day. And if you start increasing that without thinking about it or without it being too difficult for you, you're going to lose weight. Especially if you've just started, you're going to lose weight quite easily. Provided your diet is in place and you are eating less calories than you're expending, you will. And NEAT is a great way to manage your calories out. So your diet is managing your calories in. We have to manage our calories in. You can't not eat. So we have to manage our calories in. And then your NEAT is how we manage calories out. And then exercise. Exercise, interestingly, is not a huge calorie burner. That might shock you to hear that. But of your metabolism, exercise only burns about 5% of your calories each and every day. By exercise, I mean training, I mean going to the gym, I mean doing a 5K. It's not great in terms of burning calories. What it is great for, however, is putting muscle into your body, which will make a calorie deficit easier for the longer you're in it. It also is great for making you feel good, and it's also great for helping you stay on track with your diet. It's another way we manage calories out. But this is why I will say a calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight. This is why I don't say, oh, you want to lose weight? Go to the gym 5 times a week. Because I'm being disingenuous if I say that to you. I'm not being as honest as I need to be. Because in truth, the diet is number one. And if you're not getting on top of this, then these two, you could do these two till the cows come home. It's going to make it so much harder. And the harder you make being in a calorie deficit, the less likely you are to sustain it. And not only that, the less likely you are to enjoy it. And enjoyment is one of the most important things. Enjoying yourself whilst you're trying to balance all of this is so important. And this is one of the key reasons why I don't recommend personally things like the ketogenic diet or things like Slimming World or other diets that are out there. I don't recommend them because I find that they will probably be too restrictive for the people I work with. And therefore it will make them unhappy. And if you're unhappy, you're not going to stick to it. And then you're not going to get results. and then you're not going to succeed, and then your confidence will be shattered again. The number one principle behind being in a calorie deficit, behind being able to maintain a calorie deficit, behind calories in versus calories out, and you being able to achieve your goals, the number one principle behind you being able to achieve your goals, which is really what I'm trying to say, is adherence. Is you being able to do it day in, day out. You being able to do it for as long as you can. And if you manage that, you will find success. Now, the more restrictive I make your diet, your NEAT, your exercise, the less enjoyment you get from it, the less likely you are to be consistent with it. The less likely you are to stick with it and be able to move forward to get to your goals. And that's not good for either of us. So, if you take one thing away from this video, make sure whatever you choose, if you choose a ketogenic diet, that's fine, as long as it makes you happy. If you choose to only drink shakes, that's fine, as long as it makes you happy. As long as it takes you to where you want to be for the next 10 years, not for the next 10 days. It's all about being able to do it for as long as possible and in a way that you are enjoying it. That it's not a struggle, that you're not killing yourself, that you're not constantly hungry, that you're not constantly grumpy, that you're not constantly depressed because of it. Because that's not going to help you achieve anything. So in order to get into a calorie deficit, we need to control our diet, we have to control our calories in, we have to use our NEAT to get calories out of the body, to burn calories, and we have to exercise in order to burn calories and make our machines more efficient at burning calories. Muscle burns more calories at rest than fat. So put muscle on your body. And my last point is for you to remember this. A calorie deficit is really simple. It's really simple, but it's not easy. You're probably watching this thinking, oh, I understand that principle. Calories in versus calories out. It's so well explained. Thank you, Adam. You have a way with words. But it's not that easy to do it. Because when you go into a calorie deficit, you're going to have to fight years of habits. The place I like my clients to start is just trying to get calorie educated. Is track your calories for a bit and try and understand what the calories are in your favorite foods. And once you start recognizing that, once you start looking at those and you start going, whoa, hang on a sec, a third of my daily allowance of calories was in that chocolate cake, you're going to start to realize that that's not serving you well. Or you're going to start to realize that you can have the chocolate cake, but you have to balance it out somewhere else in your life. Maybe we do a bit more NEAT. Maybe we go for a walk after. Maybe we just bring the diet down somewhere else that day. Or maybe we bring it down later that week. The management techniques of what a calorie deficit are multifaceted. There's thousands of different components that go into the calorie deficit, and that is not what this video is for. This video is to simply tell you what a calorie deficit is and to give you a pointer in how it works. And I hope I have done that. And essentially, the reason I like to work with a calorie deficit as my guiding diet for clients is it allows us to have full flexibility. You can be in a calorie deficit and still enjoy your favorite foods. You can be in a calorie deficit and still go to the pub for a drink or go to a restaurant for a meal. Yes, it might make it a little bit harder sometimes, or it might slow your progress down. But hey, we've got all the time in the world. We don't need you to lose weight within 6 weeks, 12 weeks. We need you to learn how to manipulate your calories for the rest of your life, so that you know what to do when you feel like you need to do it. So that when you need to go to a proven strategy that works, You have all the tools at your disposal with which to do them. And that's why I use a calorie deficit. I don't use it because it's some magical thing. It's some mumbo jumbo that I know and you don't. And it also makes me ethically correct because I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you, this is what your food is, and this is how you can eat all the foods you want and still lose weight. Yeah, you might have to eat a bit less of them. Yeah, you might have to exercise a little bit. But essentially, this does allow you to have your cake and eat it too, as long as it fits into your calorie allowance for the day. Right, that's it from me. I hope you've liked this video. I hope you've learned something. If you have, great, comment below. If you haven't, comment below, and I'll do one that hopefully you can learn from. All you have to do is ask, and I will produce. My name's Adam Berry. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking below. If you have any questions, ask them always. There's no silly questions, just lots of help. And once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching this. And from the bottom of my heart to yours, thank you very much. I hope you have a lovely day.